guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I am here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? We have that big size, big luxury SUV from an iconic British brand. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Range Rover Autobiography. Guess what? This is a P530 Autobiography. But before we get into this Carpathian Grey ultimate luxury SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Range Rover, obviously part of the Land Rover brand. It's that premium level. And when you think Range Rover, a lot of times I think James Bond. I think high-end, kind of like caviar dreams, champagne wishes, and everything in between. Well, guess what? In this full-size luxury SUV segment, there's some pretty big players. You got obviously Mercedes with the Maybach, you have Rolls-Royce, even Cadillac with the Escalade seems to creep into that area. But when you go Range Rover Autobiography, you might notice when we get to the interior, there are some high-end luxury finishes. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the best new full-size luxury SUV to really pamper your passengers and have a unique driving experience, is this the king of those luxury SUVs? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our 2024 Range Rover Autobiography P530 and find out. Right off the bat, the color. I love Carpathian Grey, really fits the body style and sort of like that classy, luxurious level very nicely. Now at the front of the business, you'll see how they've updated the headlight design. This is the 5th generation of the Range Rover Autobiography. Full LED lighting for your headlights, your turn signals, and your daytime running lamps. Working your way down, you do have a little bit of functionality on this lower corner area. Of course, we have heat exchangers and an air curtain. More LED lighting for your fog lamps, located nice and low. And then as we drift in front of that unique shaped grille, remember, this has adaptive air ride suspension, so you could raise and lower this Range Rover at will. You could have in the highest position over 11 inches of ground clearance. That means that this thing can go through about 3 feet of water. That's how rugged these are, even though they have such a sleek, classy wrapper. Now, of course, the upper grille, that unique design, active shutters are gonna open and close, let more or less air in. Like I said, Land Rover is the parent company, and Range Rover is the premium level. It's sort of like Toyota and Lexus, Nissan and Infiniti, Honda and Acura. This just really takes it to another level. Now you are going to get a forward-facing camera in the lower grille area, and then it's a combination of some functional grille that's gloss black with Carpathian Grey, our body color, mixed in between. But it's one of those front ends that I feel like as soon as you see this, you know that it's a Range Rover. And that's one of the things that the brand is very proud of, is that they have a very distinct style. Now, as we rise up, you have that nice bold hood, gunmetal gray Range Rover badge on the hood. My only zonk with this is that I wish it was actually sunk into the hood a little bit. They're basically just adhesive letters that have been stuck on. So not my favorite how they kind of stick out. Would have been nice if they just sunk them in a little bit, but you have a nice broad hood, very crisp body lines on each side. Nothing too crazy, just to give you a good visual reference point when you're looking out over the hood, or if your chauffeur is driving you around in this and looking out over the hood. As we come around the bend, of course, we're gonna have unique wheels and tires. What do we got going on here? Split spoke design all the way around, gloss black wheel. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? 22-inch wheel. Tires are 285 on the width, 40 series sidewall. We have the adaptive air ride suspension. Obviously 4x4, getting the power to the ground with a 2-speed transfer case. And I like the way everything is painted around the fender opening. No flat black on this car. Now, as we rise up, it's all in the details, right? You got your headlight housing that gets pulled into the fender like a piece of bubble gum. Nice, smooth curves. But then it's interesting because where the hood meets the fender, this becomes a body line. Look at how it goes all the way down the side of the vehicle. That's the attention to detail. Now you do have power folding mirrors, which these are in the park position, so they're folded in. That's gonna allow Steven to show off our 360-degree cameras all over the place. And I like the two-tone with the blacked out A-pillar, and then you have the Carpathian Grey roof. It's better than it just being painted black, like the whole thing. I love the way they black all of the A-pillar area out, and then this has that nice flat roof design, Carpathian Grey. You're gonna have flush mounted door handles. Look at the way they curve the body up towards the glass for the side windows. And then this particular one has these stationary running boards. Not my favorite. I am gonna have to zonk that, even though it says Range Rover on it. I wish it was electric to where it would get sucked into the body. But of course we have our unique feature on the front doors with the Autobiography script there on the badge. Working our way towards the rear, you'll notice that the rear door is a little bit longer, which means when you open it up, it has a wider opening for you to get in and out compared to the front door. Working our way towards the rear, nice large quarter glass, seamless, no frame. Love the way they have that. It just makes it look so sleek. Swinging around the back, Land Rover and Range Rover knows how to do it. No exposed rear wiper. Your wiper is tucked underneath that stubby roof spoiler with your third brake light that's blended in. And then of course we're gonna have these smoked out lenses on the lights. Very, very nice touch. It almost makes it look like there's no taillights there, and it blends in nicely to the trim because you have the Range Rover name nice and bold out back. And then working our way down to ground level, because these are the types of vehicles where you could take them off-road, nothing dangling down. Everything is tucked up nice and high because like I said, in the highest suspension setting, you have over 11 inches of ground clearance. And I like the way it just says Range Rover on the back. Clean, no P530 or any of that stuff stuck on. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood because I want to explain what the heck does P530 mean in this Autobiography. Let's go check it out. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have the hood struts. Underneath the hood, I like that aluminum bracing that they put to stiffen up the front end and tie in the firewall with the strut top mounts. You'll also notice, I don't know if Steven can swing around and show the wires because that is that air ride, adaptive air ride suspension. Semi-tasteful engine cover with twin throttle bodies, twin air boxes. What is it though? Guess what? It's a 4.4 liter V8 twin turbocharged engine. So you're looking at 523 horsepower. That's why they call it a P530. I guess in their world, you round up, not round down, even though the last number is a 3. Technically, it should be called the P520, I think. But they call it the P530, 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60, believe it or not, in this big old freaking beast, 4.3 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. It weighs 5,982 pounds, can tow 8,200 pounds, and has MPGs of 16 in the city, 21 on the highway. So nice to have that twin turbo V8 power, the torque. But why don't we go ahead, let's see if it makes any sound. Let's go fire up this Autobiography Range Rover and see if we can hear anything. All right, guys, come on into this rolling, luxurious condo. That's what I feel like I'm in because of all the room in here. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I just got a big bonus at work. I'm doing really well. I want to kind of spoil myself. And I also want to spoil the people that ride with me when I drive them around. So I'm very curious about this Range Rover Autobiography P530. How much is it? This particular one, the way that it's spec'd out, you're looking at an MSRP of $184,000. I hope your bonus was good. we'll see what you get for the money, to the door panels. I love the nice, sleek style. Look at the leather, the stitching. We have the Meridian premium sound system up in the corner there. Real wood finish in the center, right where you have your seat controls. Obviously, memory seat settings and everything. There is some gloss black around the switchgear, nothing too crazy. I love the aluminum on the door handle and the surround where your lock and unlock is. Even the center of the armrest there. Look, it's just very, very sleek and classy. Door pocket, you have some aluminum finish around the trim of it, and then you'll be able to easily fit, I would say, a foot-long caviar sandwich from your favorite expensive restaurant, and of course a big old bottle of Fiji water to wash it down. And we have that nice aluminum speaker grill cover. You have 35 speakers in here. That's more than what Circuit City used to have in the store on display. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, that leather, the stitching, I like this silver finish. Of course, you have your glove box. You could put your diamond studded gloves in here because you have the felt lining. Maybe you bedazzled them. You also have the upper box. This is where you're going to want to keep your gold Twinkies, your gold-filled Twinkies. And of course, we have a 12 volt as well underneath that lid. Close that up, slide on in. Guess what? You got an over 13-inch infotainment system. It's that Pivi Pro system. It's updated. The one zonk is everything is in the infotainment system. So you want to control your dual climate, it's in the infotainment system. You want to get into your navigation, it's all through the infotainment system. Full screen touch capacity. You have heated seats, ventilated seats, and everything in between. And then watch this, we go home. Look at all the apps we have. It's out of control. Off-road modes, air quality, park assist. I mean, even dynamic, which is to go into their different splitters. We're ready to rock and roll. Suspension, gear shift, all in that sport mode. I could go in stopwatch, a G meter. That's what I'm saying. Look, it shows the pressure. I'm stepping on the brake. Look at that. Step on the throttle. Very, very cool to have that for your, not for you to look at, but for your passenger to look at. And then we're right back where we started. You can swipe through all those different, look at this, the off-road gauges, energy impact, which we know is not going to be very good for a vehicle this size. But nice, intuitive. I just wish that it wasn't all through the screen. You have some more classy wood finish with a little bit of nice design that they put into the wood. Slide this open. You have wireless charging, USB-C, and you have some felt lining in here, so you could actually keep one of your special Ruby collections in here, and it's not going to get scratched up. This guy right here is going to control your ZF 8-speed automatic. I love the aluminum finish everywhere. No fingerprints on that. Your start-stop button. Man, I know some people are going to get some wood, but you're getting a lot of wood in here. Slide it up. 2 cup holders. There's your Land Rover key fob. Yes, you're in a Range Rover. I know. And then look at how you get more access. There's a USB-C, a USB-A, and this is where you could hide certain things that you don't want people to find. Maybe even the police. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not condoning anything. Leather on the armrest, the stitching. Open this up. You got your cool box, so you can keep your Twinkies in there nice and chilled. I've always wondered why they have captain's chair when you have a center armrest here. This kind of seems, I don't know, weird. But they're there if you want them. And then the seats. Look at how everything is contoured to fit your cabeza. That means head in Spanish. Perforated, nice smooth bolstering, nice wide seat. Of course, like I said, you got power adjustments for the passenger, power adjustments for the driver. I got a leather hand-stitched headliner in here. And then, of course, we got the power shade for our ginormous. It's a little slow. Jeez. I may be 10 years older by the time that this thing opens, but it is a panoramic sunroof, which is nice. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Range Rover. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Of course, you got your memory seat settings. You have a nice sill plate that says Autobiography. And you have an aluminum brake pedal, throttle. I just wish they would give me an aluminum dead pedal for $180 $80-something thousand. I love how wide these seats are. Because there's no controls here, they could go bonkers on the width of the seats, the cushion, the comfort. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not even close to this leather headliner. And then of course you got the steering wheel. Nice wood trim, dark wood trim all the way around with the leather. Love the way they did the horn button with the stitching, the aluminum finish. You got real metal paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic. It's over on my side, the electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you also, hold on one second, we're gonna see if we can change this here before I show it to you. Here we go info panel. Now I'm gonna go down, there we go. Now I'm gonna select, there we go. So you have a 13-inch digital gauge cluster. Love the graphics, the fonts I put in the center there. Instead of the stupid Sirius XM, I got the 4x4 system there to show the power getting to the ground. Very cool how you can lock the diffs. Very nicely done. And you have a ginormous head-up display. But you know what? If you think you're getting spoiled up front, wait until you see what you're going to give your passengers in the back seat of this Autobiography. All right, guys, back seat time. And you better strap yourself in for this one because it's pretty intense. First of all, you have heated, ventilated, and massage seats in the front and in the back. And as you can see, this is a chauffeur setting. Don't expect these seats to just fold down and have all this cargo room. It's meant to pamper your backseat passengers. I feel freaking phenomenal sitting here. You have 11-inch touchscreens for both of the passengers behind the driver and the front seat passenger. You could watch Barney, you could watch the Goonies, whatever the heck you're watching nowadays. Maybe you're even watching Fallout on Amazon Prime. You could watch it right here on your little screens. Look at the speakers. This is Meridian speaker grill. Like I said, 35 speakers. Nice, solid, large leather pockets. This is where you could keep your Game Boy, maybe your Game Boy Color, and some games in there. Down for the command center, we have, of course, our dual climate control. You have all your AC controls down below, way down. Look at this, home power source. You got USB-Cs, a 12 volt. They got you covered there. I have my own freaking screen. You got the seat controls in the actual doors, just like the people up front. And you can fit 3 across here. But I highly recommend don't bring that extra person because watch this. Are you ready? Watch my finger. Power dropping center armrest, but that's just the half of it. Actually, that's like 10% of it, because what you'll see is we have a full touchscreen here for the passengers. Before we get to that, let me do the basics. So you open this up, you got felt lining in here, you got USB-Cs, HDMIs. This is where you could keep a couple of your Rolex watches that you're selling, probably on, on the gray market or whatever color market they're doing this week, red, yellow, blue. What about if you want a cup holder? Say you had your chauffeur drive you through Starbucks and you got a Crapalapa Frappe, the new one for springtime. Where are you going to put it? Because there's no cup holders. Well, wait, watch this. First of all, you got the wood finish, real wood, and then you got your touchscreen. So we're going to slide that up. Now it's going to give me lots of options. Look at this. You want cup holder? You don't need to use your hands to get to the cup holder. Besides pushing the button, you have this full extension. For one reason, this is a zonk. Why do I have to do this? That should happen automatically, but there's your 2 cup holders for your Frappalappa Crappa. You got your climate controls you could get into. We can go back home. You could do your seats, choose massage, recline, adjust, seat heat, the whole 9 yards. And you could adjust your lighting and the power shades, the power blinds in here. And then, of course, to close it, you just do that. Very nicely done. And now I could watch Rady's Rides. No, I don't know what I would watch. What am I watching right now? Oh, I like that show Fallout. I'm also waiting for new Stranger Things. When the hell is that coming out? and of course the final season of Cobra Kai. But why don't we go ahead, we got plenty of time before the next seasons come out. Let's get into the cargo area and see how many VHS tapes from Blockbuster we could fit back there in this autobiography. All right guys, time to get in the cargo area. Now what's cool about the Range Rover Autobiography is of course you have electric assist for the top part, but then you also have the loading dock as well, which is power. So you hit that button, drops down and extends, or you could just leave it up. And that's where you're gonna have that usable space. Now, how much room do we have? You're basically looking at right around 41 cubic feet of space with the arrangement, how we have it. Of course, you're gonna get a couple boxes of Land Rover scones, which is nice to have. These are actually headphones, not scones. But I'd rather have scones than headphones personally. On the passenger side, of course, we have our cargo net for our Twinkie holder here. You do have a 12 volt underneath that cover, and here's all the switch gear for the seats and also raising and lowering the back of the vehicle, which is really nice. But before we go on throttle, there are a couple buttons that we need to push. A lot of times, Steven likes to push my buttons. I get to push the buttons on the Range Rover. So hit that one first, hit that one second. Now the only button left to push is to fire up that twin turbo V8. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in this autobiography. All right, guys, we left Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. We're in this 2024 Range Rover Autobiography P530. Right away, I mean, it's phenomenal what they have done with the sound deadening material, all of the extra welds to the chassis, the suspension. It's so quiet and just really serene in here. And I think that's one of the things that you're gonna really love about the experience behind the wheel of a Range Rover. Getting to everything is well within reach. That nice large infotainment system screen. You can see I have the dynamic screen set up with our G meter and all of the different input graphs. To change your modes, it's actually straightforward. You just hit the mode button here. It's gonna let you know, do you want eco? Do you want off-road? No, we want dynamic. That's gonna be the sport mode. And that's gonna change how all of your driving dynamics are. You can see it changes. It lets you know on the screen that it's been selected. You get some red on both sides of the screen. And that's gonna change all the behaviors of the steering, throttle sensitivity, the suspension. Plus, I like the way the head-up display changes. You actually have a tachometer and your speed listed in that head-up display. But just the seats hug you so well. And there's just a comfort level here that I don't think, unless you've been in one of these, that you're gonna be familiar with. It has rear wheel steer, so even though it's a larger SUV, it's gonna be able to be turning on a dime with no problem. And if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops down and we are off and running. So you're gonna get up to speed very, very quickly. The ZF is very competent, smooth shifting. And then we're gonna see how this thing handles. Obviously not a carver for corners, but still gonna get the business done. I would like the dynamic mode to have the suspension be just a little bit stiffer, but with the rear wheel steer, it really does a nice job of going through the twisties. Very balanced, but the fact that you're wrapping everybody in here in such high materials, technology, and then of course you got that twin turbo V8 with over 500 horsepower. Visibility out the front is phenomenal. You got your digital rear view mirror, which is gonna allow you to see behind you very easily. But as you can see, driving it, if you're not used to driving a big SUV, it's a piece of cake in this thing. Very, very smooth. But obviously this is not a high performance SUV, even though it does have plenty of horsepower and torque. This is more for that luxurious, sporty chauffeuring experience. But are you ready? We're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Nice, clear graphics on the display. Look at that. That V8 sound, and you're getting just enough sound inside the cabin to let you know that you got that twin turbo V8 power. So don't think it's not like a Cullinan where it's a totally, you know, kind of, they just mute everything and it's really just like a bland experience when you go on throttle. Here you're gonna get some of the sounds that you want. But brakes feel really good. And watch, I'll make a U-turn here, and then in this I could do it I mean, look at this. Basically staying in the lane, making a U-turn because of that rear wheel steer. But the way this thing drives, it's gonna surprise you how zippy it is. Of course, you got paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down the 8-speed automatic if you want to manually shift. And then it's really easy to change out the screen. You want to bring up your navigation. There we are. Nice clear graphics. I like the way the screen has a nice bend to it. And even though everything is located in the screen, they do a great job of an anti-glare finish. There's no glare coming off this screen, which blows my freaking mind. Same thing with the digital gauge cluster. It's scratch resistant and glare resistant, which is nice. But really, one heck of a unique experience in this SUV. And when you're comparing it to the other top dogs in the SUV world, it's hard to compete with what this brings. And such a unique wrapper of an SUV. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review for you of the Range Rover Defender. We're gonna get Defender. What am I saying? I'm in La La Land. The Range Rover Autobiography P530. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day in so many ways here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. I definitely want to thank Miro and the rest of the team getting us access to this 2024 Range Rover Autobiography P530. Yes, it's a mouthful, but is it a mouthful of luxury SUV that comes with the name? Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section, especially compared to the competition. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He's making it happen no matter how much vitamin C and zinc he needs to inject into his body to stay strong and healthy, to perform at the optimum on-throttle level that he loves to be at. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.